Welcome, everybody, to the Build a Vibrant Culture podcast. My name is Nicole Greer, and they call me the Vibrant Coach. And I have another, I know I always say this, but he is amazing. I'm going to tell you all about Robb Patton today. So here's his bio. He is soaring through the skies as a professional pilot and occasionally landing jokes with his comedic comments and videos. Gemini and Virgo tendencies, he wrote the plane that probably could. Okay, probably, Prolly, right? So I love that. And co founded Highbrow Safety Werks, advocating for psychological safety because every flight deserves a good laugh. So, Rob, I'm so glad you're here because you're doing something so cool, building vibrant cultures with humor inside of them. I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love your work.
Oh, you're very sweet. Yeah, and Rob has a lovely daughter who I've had the privilege of meeting and hanging out with for several times all day long in training sessions, and she's a doll baby. And you know what they say? Oh, I met her daddy. That's where she gets it from. And so she's a doll. I love her so
Oh,
much.
thank you so much. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of her for sure.
Yeah, and she's the one that told me all of the amazing work that you're doing. So, first of all, tell us a little bit about your company and what you're doing. It's really cool.
Yeah, so basically, I've been a commercial pilot for 20 whatever years now, and I've done some stand-up comedy through the years. I love making people laugh. So basically, what happened about 3 years ago is we created a video for our internal flight department, and that kind of got out and people loved it. It was called Ice Ice Maybe. And basically, it was ice procedures for a particular aircraft. And we use Ice Ice Baby as a parody. So it flourished into where it is now. A lot of fun.
Yeah. So what he's doing is he's taking these songs and he's got full on videos. I mean,
Hmm.
costumes, set, direction. The one video I watched, there was a choir in the video.
Hmm.
I mean, it was a choir of five or six. I don't know. I didn't count. But I mean, you're not just making a video with your iPhone, you're putting together very high quality learning and development materials for people so that they can fly these planes and keep us all safe in the air. Yes?
Yeah, yeah. So what we learned was having an earworm for us really helped, and have the people singing whatever the parameters are or whatever in the back. We've gone through training. We go through training every 6 months, and then there's online training and all sorts. So you don't normally associate humor or levity with aviation at all. So it's kind of fun to mix the two.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I can think of other industries that are out there where we feel like we can't be funny with
Hmm.
accounting, or we couldn't be funny with engineering or something like
Right.
that. But the
Yeah.
videos that you do are absolutely hilarious and fantastic. So I think that a big part of building a vibrant culture is people are having fun.
Yes.
And we all know that laughter is so good for your soul and also
Yeah.
physically good for you, right? It
Hmm.
releases all sorts of
Hmm.
good neuropeptides as you're laughing and smiling. So I want to ask you a little bit about the humor side. First of all, how'd you get into stand up? How'd you do that?
That started a long time ago. So it started as a kid. I enjoy making people laugh. I enjoy really brightening someone's day who wasn't planning on it happening. And then you go down the aviation road, and I was pretty flavorful. I did fly for the airlines for a bit before moving back to business aviation, and I enjoyed the passenger announcements. Those were a blast, and getting the people's feedback. But yeah, that started, I would say, in elementary, and it kind of never went away. And I would say it's kind of my foot is on the gas with that now. So
That's fantastic. And the name
mhm.
of your learning platform, share that with us.
It's highbrowsafety.com. And we thought highbrow, like it's intelligent humor around a pretty serious, the nuclear industry, the medical industry, engineers, manufacturing, all of it. There's room for levity and learning in all those industries for sure.
That's right. That's right. Okay. So, humor, we've determined that it's very important to build a vibrant culture. And, Rob, I think
Hmm.
you're really doing something that's cutting edge. I mean, I don't want you to get a big head or anything, but I mean, I think you're like doing something that really in learning and development, we need to be thinking about like, how do we actually bake in the humor instead of
Hmm.
like finding a funny facilitator
Yes.
or a trainer that's got a sense of humor? Like, you're baking it in, right? So, it's super intentional.
Yeah, it's very intentional. I think humor seriously. as a book that was written, and I'm sure you've read it, but it's a great book and it goes into the science. And they have a TED talk as well. It goes into the science of laughter and the oxytocin and whatnot. We did Legos, for instance, little Lego minifigs, and we outfitted them according to their personalities and so forth. And we were planning on putting those in the back only for the flight crews and so on to see. The owners of the company asked for it to be put in the lobby where everyone can see it. And so that was just another nod to how humor, because they're all very, I'm not the tallest person,
Me
and I am the chief
either.
pilot. Yeah. So I'm in a booster seat right now, actually, from Wendy's, but
I'm standing
no.
up, but you can't tell.
So someone went into the back of the shadow box and took the normal size legs off on me and put little kid legs.
So good.
So that's the culture we have in the department. Somebody's comfortable enough to go in and take their boss's legs, and which is great. It's been so much fun to watch the evolution of that.
Yeah, that's so good. And I think the other thing when you mentioned Legos, I got this other word in my brain other than humor, which was this idea of just being playful.
Hmm.
Because if you're playful, you'll end up laughing. You know what I mean? It might not be
Yeah,
funny to begin, but if you play, right? So this guy goes back and he changes the legs out, and that's hilarious. And now we're laughing, right? Yeah. So
yeah.
I'll tell you another quick story, Rob. So where Kristen works at Bloom, there was the human resource department. Now imagine. I love my human resource people. The human resource department is hilarious there, and they have so much fun. So one of the gals kept getting these like little ducks. Like she'd open up her desk drawer, there'd be this duck in her drawer. She's like, "Where are these ducks coming from?" Then she had her car locked. And she goes out to her car and there's a duck on the seat of her car. And then she went to training one day. She opened up her purse and like inside where you keep your lipstick if you're a female, there was a duck in there. And so she's like, "What is going on?" So it was driving her crazy. And it was one of her coworkers that she's worked with
Oh
for
my
forever.
gosh,
But like it was just
that's
playful.
awesome.
So there's
Yeah.
things you can do. There's things you can do. All right. So I want to ask you this. Humor, they say, is the shortest distance between two people. Have you seen humor break
Hmm.
down some barriers in workplace learning or just barriers in the culture?
Yeah. So I'll just use the airlines for instance.
Please.
When you show up on the property, when you show up in the aircraft, that's the first time in a lot of cases that you met that person. So you've never met him before. You guys are kind of like robots in the airplane. You know what he's going to do or she, and vice versa. I always try to open that relationship up with a little bit of levity to kind of like break down the barriers, like you said, or the guard or whatever that is. We
That's a good
tend
way to say it.
to, yeah. So when you're walking through the terminal and you have the suit on, there's a certain expectation from everyone in the terminal. But when you go down the jetway and it's just the two of you or whatever, that's always the best way for me that I've found to open that relationship up and start talking. That also helps the high pressure situations. If they know where your default is, like, hey, I'm kind of easygoing and laid back and approachable and whatnot, all the things that levity helps other people understand about you.
Yeah, that's good. And I fly a lot and I watch these flight attendants and these pilots and
Mm-hmm.
they're very serious. They're looking like a million
Mm-hmm.
bucks. They got their suits on. But oftentimes I'm lucky enough to sit towards the front of the plane and the ones that are enjoying it make me
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it. Right,
Yeah.
right. But
Yeah.
but the ones that don't have a sense of humor, who are just like, "Please fasten your seatbelt, put away your tray
Mm-hmm.
table," I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, this is gonna be a bad flight." Because if you can just put that good energy out there, it just lifts the whole thing. We're gonna have a better flight, right? People are gonna do good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very contagious.
I
And
agree.
if you're having a 4 day trip with the same crew, that's like 6 or 8 people that you're with the whole time. And if you have that demeanor, you just, to your point, you can lift the whole spirit of the crew. And that 4 day turns into something that's a lot of fun when it could be arduous.
Absolutely. And even if you're not flying around 4 days in retail together, 4 days in the restaurant
Yeah.
together, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
it's so
Hmm.
good. All right. So, what's a moment when using humor in a training session completely shifted the energy or opened people up? Sometimes I go into trainings, Rob, and I got people like this.
Oh.
Got their arms crossed if you're listening. Got my arms crossed and a bad look on my face. Yeah. How does humor switch all that?
Well, I mean, in my stand up, the emotional intelligence comes along where you're reading the room
Mm.
and you see if the room's tight or not, all the things that you do speaking professionally. Last November, I had a room full of pilots, and we aren't known for being the most loose and laid back folks.
Mm-mm.
So I start most of them off with, my name is Rob. I'm a Gemini with Virgo tendencies. So I delay like 15 seconds, and then people are like, oh my God, that was a joke. That was so funny. It was a tight room. And it was more like the first statement was a misdirection for them. They weren't
Yeah.
planning on any of that. So we were able to have some fun. After that, it loosened the whole room up because now you can ask the question that maybe you wouldn't have asked earlier. And I did get some ask some questions at the end, but I was also a simulator instructor. So during that period, the people would be up front a little nervous. And I would start off with whatever the most preposterous thing you can imagine is and break the ice immediately and calm them down. So it helps in a lot of different ways. I think to your point about sales or whatever, I think just starting off whatever the event is, whether it's just a day at work with a little bit of levity changes the whole day.
Yeah. And I think, again, people come with a preconceived idea. And here's the thing about, I bet this is true. You confirm or deny. In the airplane biz, I bet you there's a lot of this thing I call mandatory training.
Oh, just a little.
Just a little. Yeah. And sometimes the stuff I teach is mandatory training, which I
Mm.
abhor the word mandatory. But like when people come in, they've got that look on their face for the mandatory training that they're going to. And you can do what Rob just said. Did you hear what he said, everybody? He's just
Hmm.
throw out something absolutely off the wall
Hmm.
and do it from the get-go. And then people are
Yeah.
like, this day is not going to be as awful as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a great idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it reduces the stress too, I think. All right. So some leaders might be listening to this. Some of my HR peeps might be listening to
Hmm.
this, and they are like, Nicole, don't you think that makes you look silly, less professional to be
Mm.
cracking jokes all the time? So, what do you think the balance is between you have to really de-ice the plane and ice baby? Like, what's
Yeah.
what's the fine line
Yeah.
there?
So the fine line is, first of all, if the people don't know how to read you or you have no history with the people, that makes it a little more difficult, right?
Hmm.
So with my role in leadership at my department, I'm chief pilot. And so there's a certain level of professionalism and whatever that it takes to get here. I think kind of reiterating what Humor Seriously said, the emotional intelligence comes into play. Like from an HR perspective, you know your room and you know what would be funny to those folks. It can be something way down in the weeds if you have a room full of accountants and whatever that is specific to those people. But I think just reading the room is important and coming out with something, even if it's small, because realistically, the people that are sitting in the room with the mandatory training situation are expecting zero humor. So if you come out with 1% humor, it's a win for them. It's going to be a good day, just like you said. I think reading the room is important, though.
Yeah, I love the topic of emotional intelligence. So let's go down that bunny trail since you brought it up for everybody listening.
Okay.
Daniel Goleman, I think it was 2012. Don't quote me, everybody. Somebody correct me. Put it in the notes. But anyways, he wrote this book, Emotional Intelligence. He was a reporter. He actually was
Mm-hmm.
interviewing some scientists that were looking at can you have emotional intelligence? And then he wrote the book. But in there, he talks about there's four buckets, right? So the first bucket is self awareness. And so I think the first thing about being funny is, Rob, do you think most people can be funny if they try? What do you think?
Oh, I think everybody's funny. Everything's subjective except for death. So you're funny.
That's not funny.
That's not funny. So I think your funny may not match as somebody else's funny, or your sense of humor is all over the place. I think everybody can be funny, even if it's nothing but a look like The Office or whatever, just a deadpan stare or a piece of silence during a presentation would come across as funny. I think it's easier, it's less daunting than a lot of people view it as.
Yeah, I think funny is like a muscle you can build.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah, and in fact, I think it's kind of you've told a few million jokes in your life, and if somebody laughs, it's almost like you get funnier. Like your
Hmm.
funny turns on or something. Like
Hmm.
you get funnier and funnier as it goes. But if your first joke's not funny, it kind of
Yeah,
shrivels up and dies.
it does. It does. And there's a little bit of there's a little bit of rudimentary humor, like the power of three, two things that are similar. And then the third thing you say is a misdirection totally.
Hmm.
And that's an easy one to do. And another one is a callback where you say Gemini with Virgo tendencies, and then you use that two or three more times in your presentation. And people are like, oh, they said it again. So there's some easy ways if you're uncomfortable with using humor that you could do it.
Yeah, and so I just remembered I have this on my bookshelf. Y'all should come to my office. I have the best office. But I got this book a long time ago, Do It Yourself Funny. I'm gonna get this thing back out
Wow.
because when you said the three thing, I was like,
Hmm.
oh, yeah. And speaking of 2012, this thing's from 2012. So it's Do It Yourself Funny. It's so fantastic. George Campbell, Tim Gard, and Mark Mayfield. Hilarious. I'm gonna get that out
Okay.
and put that on the list of things to do. Yeah, so I think you can up your funny game. So emotional intelligence, there's self-awareness, and then there's
Hmm.
self-management. Like, can I
Hmm.
try to be funny? I could
Hmm.
try. And
Hmm.
then the social awareness that I think is what you're talking about, like you're reading the room. These people are not having a good day. I should try to raise the vibration.
Yeah. So, in a comedy show is not unlike doing a talk in your department, wherever you work. It's not unlike that at all. Before I went on stage, if there were any large groups, I would know what those groups were in the early show and the late show. So you have some idea of who you're speaking to, and you could change your joke accordingly or whatever that is. So, same thing with the presentations from HR, the mandatory training, no different.
Yeah, so good, so good. Okay, so in your view, how does humor contribute to psychological safety in a team or learning environment? Because you're all about the psychological safety.
I'm all about the psychological
Yeah,
safety.
okay, first,
I'm
well,
all about it.
define it because we're all throwing it around, but like,
Yeah, we are. We are. So psychological safety is not everybody's happy all the time.
okay.
It's not that. It is the ability for you to voice your opinions and concerns that would be a matter in the company's success. It's being able to bring things like that up. That's what psychological safety is. So imagine going into a meeting where you didn't feel like you could say anything, and the gentleman speaking is speaking off of a teleprompter or a script or whatnot. It feels very tight. There's no room for questions or anything like that, versus walking into a room where the first thing you hear is a joke. Now you're in the meeting thinking, okay, well, they just joked. So, this process that I think is really hurting the company, I feel more comfortable bringing that up just because of their demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I think humor can help, or just levity in general can help psychological safety. Anytime you can make the people feel more comfortable in speaking, no matter what that is. And levity is something you could do like real easy and quick. And like you said, just kind of open the whole thing up from the beginning.
Yeah. So I have a husband that is a dad joke person, and he has this personality where he's pretty even keeled, like this, which makes the dad joke actually better. Because he's not trying to deliver the dad joke. He's just putting it out there. And I've seen people that have the dad joke calendar where you get one a day.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think it's almost that simple,
it
Rob.
is.
And I think too, you become endearing to your team.
Yeah.
They're like, "Do
Yeah.
you have a new dad joke?" And you're like, "Yes, I do." I
Yeah.
yes, I do. I memorized the one off my calendar this morning. And then people are like, "Oh my God, I love this guy."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's the guy, that's the leader, or it could be a female, of course,
Right.
who I'm like, I have a problem with the new project,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and even with one-on-ones, psychological safety isn't necessarily a big group in the context of a big meeting and whatever.
Right, the staff meeting.
It's one, yeah, it's one-on-ones. When you do have a problem with that project and you're able to walk in and your direct report just opened a big meeting with a joke and you're like, okay, and they knew you were authentic with that joke.
Mm,
You know, you were really like not just robotic or, hey, I need to check the joke box, you know, and I think that goes really far throughout the organization.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, so I just want to review real quickly, folks. So, humor, you can build it. Number two,
Hmm.
it's part, I think it's actually Goldman missed the boat. Should we call him and tell him he has to write another book, like how humor actually
Yeah.
makes people smarter in their
Yeah.
emotional intelligence? I think that's part of it. And then you don't have to be a stand-up comedian like Robb Patton to do this. You just need to
No.
try a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think having the rudimentary like humor seriously, just trying it and doing a little bit of research, everybody knows something funny at their company that's funny just to their people.
Hmm.
So the comedic part is easy.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true. Yeah, like we
Hmm.
know all the inside jokes.
Yes.
And so if one comes up, you should, oh, that's an inside joke. I should write that down and use it as a
Yeah.
callback or something.
Yeah. Anything like that, because there's all these little nuances with every little industry or whatever you do that is definitely funny to everyone. And misdirections are easy. And the same token, it's
Right.
not that hard.
And the other thing too is that there's like classic mistakes. So I'm thinking about comedians that are physical and they
Hmm.
slip on the banana peel and they fall down and they run into things and drop things and whatever. That's all about humans are terribly flawed. And like we're just awful. But if we can laugh at ourselves, it's huge. And
Yes.
I think there are some common mistakes in
Yeah.
every industry as well. And in your learning and development, you could do it. Rob's doing. You could be like, okay, we're going to do a ridiculous, humorous thing about this because people do this and they shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
let's make a video and make it hilarious.
Yeah. And that's so easy to do. You bring up something very good too. And if the humor, especially if you're in leadership, I think if it can include you, then people see, oh, they're making fun of themselves, so they
Right.
don't think too much or whatever. So that's a very important thing you bring up. And yeah, everybody knows something that shouldn't be done at work. It could be the break room. It could be as simple as somebody's lunchbox in the break room and they put it in this one place every time, or a myriad of different things that you could easily do a callback on or whatever that is.
Right. Yeah. And just like people microwaving something and blowing it up in the microwave now that you've got me on the
Hmm.
break room, or people taking other people's sandwiches. I mean, there's,
Yeah.
there's 100 things you could do about the break room. That's so good.
Well, we did one where, okay, if you're working on an airplane, you're working on a part, the really important thing is not to be interrupted, whether that is with a phone or whatever in the middle of the task. So we did a video where this guy was dreaming about lunch. And he, in order to hurry up and go to lunch, he put chewing gum on this part of the airplane just to get it done. And then he left and walked off to the break room.
Oh, Lord.
So the whole video is like 30 seconds. But we use it as a training video internally. Don't think about your lunch, focus on the task and whatever. But it was something real. Like he's hungry and something as easy as that. We shot it with a phone and everybody laughed a lot at it and got something out of it at the end.
Yeah, that's so good. I love that. Okay, and I don't know if it's still out there. I'm gonna Google it later, but there was this burrito place up in the Northeast called Boloco. And they made these videos and it was like, this is how you don't greet the customer. And so
Oh,
they did this ridiculous
yeah.
over the top thing. And it was just these young people that work at Boloco. And then they're like, and this is the right way. They did this whole
Oh,
juxtaposition. I think that's along the lines of what you're doing. So think about how you could just, like he said, with the phone, get this done. So good.
yeah.
All right. You kind of already answered this question, but maybe you could give us a couple more examples. Give us an example of how humor has reinforced a key learning concept so that it sticks. So you gave us the one with the gum.
Yeah.
Focus on what you're
Yeah.
doing. What other key learning concepts have you nailed because you've done this?
So ice maybe was one of them. So
Okay.
obviously airplanes have a lot of numbers and weights and so many parameters. You need to have them memorized, but they become important again when icing comes back. And you can ice at any altitude, even during the summer. So during the winter, there is this one number on the throttle setting on a particular airplane. Very specific. we've had people reach out to us and go, the first thing that happened when we got the ice alert in the airplane was 70% in the descent, which is a lyric out of that song. So they remembered the power number instantly. And that's a
Oh,
win for
that's
us.
so good.
That's a win for us.
Yeah. So, oh God. And that is the thing, like singing and songs, there's something about the notes and the music and the 8 beats that helps us memorize things. Okay, I love that. So if you have a key word, a key number, you could put it into
Mm-hmm.
something so that
Yeah.
people can get it memorized. That's fantastic. Okay. So y- are you the funniest one at work, or are there other funny people there?
Oh no, there's other funny people. There's other funny people. We have a guy. We were gonna shoot that video, Ice Maybe,
Hmm.
and I gave him a flat bill hat and a tank top, things he would never wear on a normal basis. So since then, I've had him in a cowboy hat and a
Oh, I
mustache,
saw
and
that one. You showed me that one. You
he's
sent me that link.
he's Wyatt. He is a serious dude, and but now he's seeing the playfulness, and we're having a great time with all these things. And he has taken on the persona of Wyatt Wing It, which is like kick the tires, I don't need regulations kind of guy. And it's yeah, he is definitely hilarious. I don't write script for him anymore. I just let him talk.
Oh, wow. Don't miss that, everybody. You could release the inner comedian in your C-suite. That's so
I have.
exciting. That's
Yeah,
so
that is fun.
good. That's so
It was so
good.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, how did you get him going down that road? How do you get a leader to take on humor authentically? You just did it, but how'd you introduce this to him? Because maybe some of my leaders are like, I'm hilarious, but that guy, I don't think we could ever get him. So, how do you introduce
Oh,
this to the other naysayers?
yeah. I think what happens is they have fun doing it. And when they have fun writing the things and they're like, oh, yeah, this thing happens, and you can write that, then you see people come on board. Like, what is the idea? Oh, we could use chewing gum and put it on the landing gear.
Right.
That's a great idea. So let's write that. And we start writing it. And before you know it, your group cohesively starts coming together. And there's a ton of ideas the more that you include all these ideas, because everybody has a certain sense of humor. And you can really see it come into play there. And if you're in a leadership position, as you see this come together, you're really creating psychological safety at the same time,
Yeah.
even before you've shot anything.
Yeah. And I was just thinking about when you have a big group together, like a family reunion, a cookout in your cul-de-sac, the
Mm.
party after work or whatever, and one person's getting two or three people going.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, everybody's like,
Mm.
what are they laughing at?
Yeah. Yes, that is true. It's contagious. It really is contagious to hear the nicknames, things like that. We have all the lockers in the aviation department have people's nicknames that we've given them. You can't have your own. You have to be given a
Oh,
nickname.
and that's probably like
And
an honor, right?
it is, well, sometimes you do something
Not maybe not
silly
at first.
and you get a nickname, and it may not be what you want, but you did something to get the nickname. So that also adds to the levity in the department for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And when you're saying that, like we're giving it to you, and your ego might pop up and be like, hey,
Yeah.
but that's what we need. We need to slay these egos.
Well, the ego is when we're giving you a nickname, your frame of reference absolutely could be like, hey, like there's one guy that's almost 30 that looks like he's 14. So
Bless his
his
heart.
nickname is the kid. And he will never not have that nickname. He looks 12. So when we get off the airplane, people are like, oh my God, where's his permission slip? Because he should be in ninth grade.
That's right.
So
Does the flight attendant know he's here by himself?
yeah. Can he see over the dash? Because with both of us fly, we're both 5 foot. So you can't see either one of us when we pull up.
Oh no.
So anyway, it's really a term of endearment that we've gotten behind you and like, hey, we've given you this nickname. Now you have a plaque on your locker that has your nickname. And yeah, so it's a frame of reference thing. Yeah, you could get your ego in the way, but kind of like the radical candor thing, the reason we're doing this is because we care about you personally at this point. And
Uh-huh.
that's how you ended up with a nickname and a crazy looking minifig.
Yeah, that's so good. Okay, so you just threw
Mhm.
out this little thing called radical candor. So for everybody listening, let's just go there for a hot second. So there's a we got to explain all these things because here's the thing. I say this almost on every podcast. Leaders
Mhm.
read. If you want to be good at your work, you need to read stuff. So anyway, there's this book called Radical Candor. It's by Kim Scott, and she has this
Mhm.
super simple y-axis, x, that's hard to
Mhm.
say, x-axis
Mhm.
model about you have to be candorous with people. So you got to, but to be candorous, it doesn't mean to be ugly. It means that you're going
Mhm.
to care deeply. You're going to care enough to say
Mhm.
something, but you're going to challenge people directly. So
Yeah.
it's a really beautiful model. So go watch a video on YouTube. Just put Kim Scott and several things will
Yeah.
pop up.
It's when people understand that. I mean, if you could get your whole organization to read that, it would be phenomenal.
Yes.
Because whenever a comment is made, it's coming from that place. Like having 360 reviews or Clifton's True, whatever it is, all the things, and especially one on ones. Like I've had to do this recently. Very hard conversation. Start off with, I care about you and I want you to succeed,
Yeah.
which is why I'm saying this. And there's care behind it. But once you do that enough and the organization's bought into that, you don't even have to say that anymore
That's right.
because it comes out.
That's right. And that's the emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
So I don't think we mentioned the fourth bucket. So there's self awareness, self
Mm-hmm.
management, social awareness, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's relationship management.
Mm-hmm.
You do something consistently enough with your team, exercise humor,
Mm-hmm.
train them, because don't miss that, everybody, too, because we are talking about being very serious about training. You may not be putting planes in the air, you may just be serving food or creating a product in manufacturing, but like it's the safety thing is super duper important. So we have to train, 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 and then bring the emotional intelligence and the radical candor. Aren't you
Yeah.
glad
And
Rob's
and
here, everybody?
and I think some of the meetings I've had, it's like, where I'm at statistically, which who really knows, but I've said I've got 8,700 days. Back to your read remark.
Hmm.
I've got 8,700 days left statistically, whatever on that. So how am I going to spend that time? And why would you not spend it, even if you're not in a leadership position? If you're listening
Oh,
to this podcast, why would you not put on Madonna's? She wrote several good songs, and I'm not knocking her. You could listen to that on the way to work too. I
Vogue,
just aged
Vogue, Vogue.
myself.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But there's also a 20 or 30-minute podcast like the one you're listening to. There's also 20 or 30 minutes in a book that you've mentioned that you can listen to on the way to work.
100%.
So you can not scroll through Instagram for 20 minutes and read a book for 20 minutes. There's so much to learn, and all this doesn't. I've had a lot of people say it didn't just affect me at work. Like, we're reading this book as a group, Radical Candor as a group. It's helped my marriage.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
helps
yeah.
all facets of your life. So why would you not want to do that with your days left?
Mm, so good. All right, that was a good sermonette. I loved it. All right. Yeah, so listen to Pastor Rob right now, everybody. That was good. Okay. All right. So radical candor is like the edge.
Mhm.
And then there's a whole nother thing, crucial conversations. Have you heard of that one? There's another book for everybody. Crucial
I have not
conversations.
heard that one.
Well,
No.
I feel like you don't need to have too many crucial conversations if you're using emotional intelligence, radical candor, and you're
Mhm.
being funny. You probably won't even
Right.
need that. You'll have that psychological safety.
Mhm.
But crucial conversations is about I've got a problem with you.
Hmm.
And so I got to tell you, you're a problem. So how can you bring humor? Can you bring humor into that very serious conversation? If you don't get it together and get here on time, you're not going to be
Yeah.
here anymore, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think you can. This is, and I go back to pointing at yourself. So before you fly big planes, you have to teach other people, which I think is brilliant.
Hmm.
You get in the plane, they've never been in a plane. So it's very terrifying. And you have to be able to break stuff down into small bite-sized things. You can't wait around, you can't beat around the bush. They're trying to kill you and they don't know it. So there ends up being a lot of those conversations after you get out of the little plane. You're like, hey, I did that too, or whatever the thing is. I think the relatability and showing yourself being fallible in those moments helps those conversations. Like pointing out, because really what you could hear, you go back to the ego,
Yeah,
you could hear, I'm wrong, I'm bad, all the things when somebody starts having one of those difficult conversations. If they start off with, here's some things I struggle with, and, say you're being late. So, one thing that you're being late is doing for the other people in the group is this. And if they understand radical candor, like the reason I'm telling you this instead of just not and letting it systemically have a negative effect on the group is because I care about you. So I think by and large, you could bring a little bit of humor by starting off whatever that was. These are more sensitive depending on how the person is, and that's why the EQ comes into play with that.
that's right. Yeah, and anytime I've ever had to have the quote unquote crucial conversation, I was serious in those moments, but at the
Mm-hmm.
end, I tried to use the communication skills to leave them up instead of leaving them crashed. Because you
Yeah,
can crash some people when you're like, listen,
yeah,
this is really serious. You got to knock this off. You don't talk like that. We all know that, but this has
yeah,
got to stop. But then to be able to still turn on your smile, still talk about this is just one day in 365. Let's
yeah,
make tomorrow really good and then make a joke about tomorrow.
yeah. If you're able to make that conversation in a pleasant one,
Yeah.
then chances are that person is going to come back to you when they have whatever that issue is. If you could turn it into something pleasant before the end.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay. So I'm going to ask you for some practical things now. So you gave me a couple. You said the callback, talking about things in threes, and I thought I would give people a quick example. So I speak in front of groups, and I went
Mhm.
out, this is probably 10 years ago. I went out
Mhm.
to San Francisco for a speaking conference with the National Speakers Association, and Christine is at the front of the room. And Christine is like, you need to not read your bio when you
Ah,
get on stage. You need to
yeah.
like have something funny. And so
Mm.
that triple thing that Rob's talking about in my bio, it says Nicole is a speaker, a coach, a trainer, and a race car driver. And everybody's like, what? Okay. And then the end of it is she races home to love on her family. She races to take care of her
Yeah.
clients. And then my final thing is she tries not to be on the first name basis with the state patrol. So so it's just like a little funny
Yeah, it is.
before I get started, right? So people are already
Yeah.
like, "Oh, okay, this is going to be a different talk. It's not so serious." So that's like the
Yeah.
triple. Are there any other practical tips you could give the trainers, the coaches, the HR managers, the
Yeah.
leaders that are listening?
So most people know before you get on your stage, just like you said, most people know your accolades and your
Oh yeah,
level of
and they don't really
professionalism.
care how much school
No,
you've had.
no. Yeah, it's not the LinkedIn thing. Everybody kind of already knows that. So the most fun thing to do, I think, to mix the room up is just a misdirection right off the bat. That will loosen a room or you will lose it totally. But in general, if you start off with whatever your name is and then the three thing is very easy. Like an accountant, I'm a speaker, and a dog walker, or whatever, just something super abstract. The third thing is super abstract. And then the next sentence, back up the dog walker with something even more abstract. And
Okay,
then,
layer it. Okay, good.
yeah. So now everybody's laughing and they're loosened up because when you loosen them up, I mean, there's science to back all the levity training up.
Oh, I
I
bet.
mean, there's science backed stuff in Humor Seriously, that book. So I think just the misdirection in the beginning, and the three is the third misdirection, and then back that sentence up with a short follow up sentence, and then you're good. And it's, the more specific, the better. Like, I'm not a dog walker. A dog walker's funny, but a Pekingese name some super abstract form of dog, and
Bruno, named Bruno or something.
it's even funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So the more specific you could put, and in that case, you're speaking to a general public. If you speak to the room is full of accountants, make the third point something that you should never do as an accountant.
Right, right. Yeah, embezzling.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I have a Series 7, a Series 63, and three
Embez
embezzlement accounts against me. Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
perfect. That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's that. And then I just thought of one I heard recently. I haven't done it yet, but I'm gonna try to do it. So I, you know what this is, but I didn't even know what this was. I'm gonna show my naivete. I didn't know what a doppelganger was.
Oh, really?
I was like, "A doppel what?" And so, for those of you who might not know, maybe all of y'all know,
Mhm.
but I didn't know. But this gentleman's like, "Oh, yeah, you get pictures of the people who are gonna be in the meeting, and then go on the YouTube or on the search engine and look for doppelganger. You can upload their picture, and it'll give somebody that looks just like them. And it could be like a celebrity, it could be whoever.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now, be careful. He said, be careful because, like, Google who that person is. Make sure you know that they're not a
Oh.
bad person. Make sure they're good. And I think that that would be so fun and just would raise the vibration if we had these.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you had that. So there's all sorts of things you can do. And I know many of you are probably going, Nicole, do I have time for that? And I'm thinking, you got to make time.
Yeah, you have to make time. If you're doing a slideshow and you don't have a little bit of funny, like the Aristotle project that Google did, I do a presentation on Project Aristotle.
Oh, teach
And so
me.
I went on Chat GPT and I got Aristotle. And he's holding Air Jordans, a mask, and a lemon. And all those are associated with the points of psychological safety that I teach.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's my last question. Looking ahead, how do you see humor evolving? So look, he's using ChatGPT to help him be funny.
Yeah. So we also can take somebody talking about a real event and turn them with AI into Orville Wright. So,
So
yeah,
good.
on video and their voice. So basically, they could be talking, tell me about a time that you did something that wasn't smart and what you learned from it. So now they're sitting there talking as Orville Wright and what he did, and it's hilarious.
I was with my
So,
brother and we decided
yeah,
to.
he started it. Yeah. Yeah. So the AI is really going to help the humor, those folks that have a problem with creating humor or anything like that. Literally, if you just a picture of Aristotle with Jordans on, and that presentation was really easy to do and it was a hit.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. All right. I know my people are like, it can't be time for this to already be over because I was having fun. Don't miss
Yeah, it's
that,
been fun.
everybody. Okay. So, what last nugget would you leave my listeners with? The people who are trying to do training, learning and development, HR, leaders who are trying to get their teams to perform. What final nugget would you leave them with?
I go back to what you said. I'm going to take the words out of your mouth.
Okay.
Learn. There's so many resources. Like when I was growing up, I'm aging myself, all we had was 5 encyclopedias. And that was it. All of the knowledge came from the little encyclopedia kit from whatever.
Right.
Now we have so many books. There's so many resources out there to be better at what you do. And I would say with a focus on psychology, what you teach, all the things that you preach, I would just say there's no reason not to do that as it filters through all of your life.
Mm, so good. All right. This is my brother from another mother who loves to learn, who's a lifelong learner like Nicole Greer, Robb Patton.
Yeah.
If we want to get a hold of you, we want to know more about Safety Works, how do we get a hold of you?
So LinkedIn, Highbrow Safety Works, or I'm on LinkedIn as well, or directly to the website. And if you have any ideas like, hey, I have this process that would be funny to have a video, then we also do that kind of stuff for specific instances through the website.
Oh, fantastic. All right. So he can come help you put funny in your company. All right. That's good.
Mhm.
All right, everybody. It's the end of the show. Go down. You know the routine. Go down right now and just hit the like button. It takes just one hot second. Do a girl a favor. And then would you leave a little love note? We love Rob. He's funny. Whatever you want to put on there would be fantastic. Helps us with the ratings and everything. So if you love the Vibrant Culture podcast, show us some love. And Rob, I'm so grateful to you. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Nicole.